Hello, this is the second of 5 podcasts that we're doing here at Northeast Community College to talk about our Guided Pathways priorities and initiatives. My name is Leah Barrett, and I'm here today with 2 of our vice presidents, Charlene Widener, our vice president for Educational Services, and Amanda Nipp, our vice president for Student Services. So I think the first question is going right to Dr. Widener. Charlene, tell us about the priority related to the evolving pathways.
So traditionally, colleges have offered a cafeteria-style model as far as programming goes. So a student will come in and they have all of these options and they select among the options for, I want to take this class and this class and this class. What we have learned through about the last 50 years of community colleges is that model doesn't always work. That students come in, they select, they don't always have the end goal in mind, not sure where they're going, or really what the career is as part of that end goal. So maybe it's something related to healthcare, but I'm not really sure what, those types of things. Evolving Pathways is about providing opportunities early in the academic career of a student, so that they can have the career experiences, but also putting them into a pathway where they're getting a mix of general education courses that transfer among all of the pathways that we offer here at the institution. So here's a great example. A student comes in for STEM. They come in the first semester, they might take an agriculture class as the light the fire because that's what they think they want to do. Increasingly, though, we're seeing students come in for agriculture who don't have an ag background. So after that first semester, they realize, that's not what I want to do. But they have a light the fire class and some general education courses that they can then switch to another pathway, perhaps business. And those classes apply without excess credits.
Okay. So it really is about helping students to get on a path. Simply said, right? It's not anything more than that. It's getting them on a path that helps them to reach their education and workforce goals.
Yes. And we have a model for it already in our career and technical education programs.
Absolutely.
And we know that model works. Okay. Our students complete at a higher rate in those programs. So it's taking that model and working it into transfer programs.
So lifting up what we do well throughout the institution. So how will this help our students?
It'll start with the onboarding of students. So we have students who apply to Northeast and they see a list of 130 different programs, concentrations to choose from. And that's very overwhelming for students, especially who are maybe a little unsure about what they want to do. And to see this really, really long laundry list of things is overwhelming. So we'll start from the application for admission with implementing the evolving pathways by having students select one of the pathways and the fields of study, essentially, that will lead them to the program pathways underneath of that field of study. So students will be able to choose from fields of study and not have to go through every single program and pick a program. It'll allow students to pick areas of focus, and then that is part of helping them get on that right path. And if maybe it's not quite the right path, they have options to choose from within that field of study. We will have conversations with students about careers and what is the end goal. Our recruitment team will change the language that they're using. When they're talking to students, it's going to start to be about careers. We're going to talk about what areas interest you instead of what's your major? What major do you want at Northeast? So it will allow students to have more in-depth conversations about careers in their future versus just the upfront, what's this program?
Right.
And then as we onboard them, they'll be part of a group with a group of students in that field of study that they're going to be taking common classes with.
So it's kind of, as Charlene said, the what we do really well in applied tech is that cohort-based learning, or some of our career and technical education programs. It's starting to move our students that are not in those programs into something that gives them a group of students that they can connect with and have conversations with about what may be their first destination after Northeast.
Absolutely.
Okay. All right. So where are we in this process? What are the next steps? What are things that our students and our employees are going to see in reference to evolving pathways?
Faculty began this journey about a year and a half ago, working specifically on the pathways. They did some mapping of all the curriculum, looking at credit hours, what's needed in programs. That work has been instrumental as we've continued on this academic year, where we've really focused on building those field of study pathways for that common first year. And then what's next? We will pilot those pathways starting in the fall. And then we'll reassess every year, look at them, and we'll get feedback from faculty, from advisors, from other folks in student services. Is it working for us? Does it work for the students? Is it helping them realize their goals? Are there pieces that perhaps we're missing? And as we identify those gaps, build those gaps in a support. We'll also begin working with our high school partners on dual credit pathways, and we already started some of that work, and so that work will continue. But we also want to focus on credit for prior learning and aligning credit for prior learning, non-credit apprenticeship works with our pathways. So that's kind of the future of the project.
And so, I asked this question of another one of our podcast participants, but when will the work be complete?
The work might not ever be complete. And I don't think that there is a complete in guided pathways, because guided pathways isn't a task that we click off or we say, we check it and it's done. It is a holistic and systemic change to our policies, our processes, the way that we do business, refocusing that not on this is our process and so this is how we do it. So we tell our students come and get to the right person and make the right connections. Guided Pathways is about re-envisioning that from the student's perspective and realigning, changing, developing our process to navigate the student. And I don't think that work is ever ending. It is work that will change, and I think the intensity of it might be a little bit easier in the future, but this is something we don't ever want to stop. We always want to assess our processes and policies and our projects and say, this is working, here are the outcomes we thought we might have, here's what we're seeing. So never, but in a really good way.
It's about, I love to use the phrase continuous quality improvement. It's always reassessing. So let's talk about assessment as we close this discussion. What will success look like?
We've already identified for the projects, including this one, some metrics that we'll measure them by. So here's a great example. One of the things about guided pathways that we've seen, there are about 250 colleges currently who are doing guided pathways. So one of the things that we've heard in the research is that most colleges see a 17 to 26% increase in completion rates among students. So that'll be a metric that we want to follow. Persistence rates also improve, so we'll want to follow those. First year completion of college level math and English is another metric that we'll be following.
Fantastic. Amanda, do you have anything to add in reference to how will we know if we'll be successful?
Certainly, overall, we believe retention rates are going to increase. The transfer, the success of transferring students to be able to graduate, we hope to see that increase. As students are taking less classes that they don't need, they're going to find that their journey to that end goal, to that completion, is straighter. There's less wandering around, and hopefully less frustration, and improve the overall student experience for students.
Well, I want to say thank you to Amanda and Charlene as we talk about this guided pathways, this culture shaping work that we're doing at Northeast Community College to really answer the question, can we be, will we be, we should be a student-ready college.